Hi, it's Mimika Cooney, and here's an introduction to a conversation I had with award-winning photographer Jane Rozenbaum. Now, Jane specializes in boudoir photography for women and has been featured on Creative Live and has spoken on a TEDx stage. And she has a lot to say about how email marketing has helped run her business. So here you go, listening to our conversation with some more tips about why email marketing is so important for your photography business.
So I want to talk to you guys about email list building. I know so many of you have Facebook groups and you have thousands of members in your Facebook group or even hundreds of members in your Facebook group. And it's fantastic that you're interacting with them and you're marketing to them. What happens if Facebook disappears? What happens tomorrow if Facebook decides, you know what, we're going to charge $100 a month for a group or $1,000 a month for a group or whatever it might be? You know, Facebook is making changes all the time. And let's just say your group no longer exists or somebody reports a photo and they just delete your group. What are you going to do? How are you going to get in touch with these clients? Email list building is the key to the success in that. And it's really not that hard, you guys. You just have to interact with your clients, offer them some cool stuff, or the people in your Facebook group. I shouldn't call them the clients because let's be honest, they're not all going to book you, right? So I'm going to teach you a little bit of a way to make some money off of them, even if they don't book you, and to stay in touch with them. And yeah, what do you want to add to that, Mimika? This is like super casual, but let's talk about it.
Yes, well, as you mentioned, thanks for the introduction. I've been a photographer as well for 15 years, and I've run my business in both England and America. And no matter the culture, no matter the season, the best way that I've been able to keep my business year to year is really keeping that relationship going with my clients. And I mean, I started doing an email list, back in 2003, and some of those people have still stayed on my email list because we don't know, right, when somebody is in the right frame of mind or has the budget. You can't assume that just because they don't book you straight away that they're not interested. So I kind of like to think of it as a nurture campaign. Like you are keeping them warm, you're keeping in contact, and it's just like any relationship, right? We're keeping in contact. So there are many reasons of why it is important besides just relationship marketing. So if you're right, I'm gonna just jump in and give you some stats because I was looking into this the other day.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are either watching YouTube or Facebook, every just about every couple of months they come up with some new change to the algorithm. Like now, most people are not like, have you seen those posts that say, well, if you see this post, please comment or like, because I don't know if I'm seeing your post. So Facebook is filtering even who we see and what they see about us. So we don't have any control of that, which really drives me nuts because it's like I have all this reliance on another platform that I don't even own. So
which in business is like super scary when
it
you think
is.
about it, because you have control over everything in your business. The second that you hand it over to somebody else, it's a little scary. And that's what we do. And we all depend on that so much. Myself included.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and it does take time to nurture customers or potential customers and getting them to know you. And we know, like, it's so noisy out there. You just to stand out is hard enough. So I always feel like once you have a customer, you really want to keep them. And especially for photography, it's great because time grows on. Wherever the woman is in her life and she wants to book your services, you never know. She just keeping front of mind and being constantly in front of her and giving her useful information makes it less salesy.
Yeah, well, you make such a
Yeah.
good point about the giving useful information, because that's something that I really wanted to mention. Part of relationship building is not just sales, and I'm not a hard sell person. I am a soft sell person all the time. I want somebody to want it, right? Like you don't want to force them to want it. But the truth of the matter is it's about building relationships. And I talk all the time about Facebook groups and building Facebook groups, which is also important. But a lot of times we talk about building the Facebook group and giving them a reason to come to your group. It's not just to see pretty pictures. You have to give them a reason, which is usually based on your why, or whatever it might be. Maybe you're building an empowerment group, or you like to talk about sex, or whatever it is that or to new moms, whatever it is that your why is. You're building your Facebook group on that because it gives people a reason to go there. And then you also show some pretty pictures, and you also post some deals here and there, right, or some specials for them because they're your VIP people. This relationship is important over email also. So your email should not always be, hey, come book a session. It should be more of, oh, I want to share something with you that I saw. Just give them a reason to want to open your email versus just selling them. And I think that that's really important. And a lot of people are missing that. And that's part of why I've created these templates, by the way, which we're going to talk about. But go ahead. You said you wanted to share some statistics.
Yeah, so just to give you an idea, like some marketing statistics is that for every $92 spent acquiring a customer, people are only spending $1 to keep converting them. And there's the difference between, buying or getting a customer through the door, somebody new who doesn't know you, and then selling to someone who already does. It's far easier and less costly to keep them warm and to keep, nurturing that relationship. So when you do have an offer or a sales or a special event coming up, and really what it comes down to is trust. Because what we're doing is we're building trust. And that email, we're not even going to get into the details of the how you do this and, what all the stats and stuff. That's not important. What's really important is you just need to be thinking of putting your business model and making it bulletproof. Because as you mentioned, even I do YouTube a lot, and a lot of my YouTube friends are freaking out because YouTube's now demonetizing videos. So if people relied on a YouTube to get their money from advertising revenue, now all of a sudden YouTube's saying, sorry, that you're not doing this anymore. And some channels have been completely shut down.
Yes,
that would just give me hives. Like if you're relying on YouTube to send out information to your customers, because here's the thing, any social media platform owns that platform. You're just borrowing their content. And
that's right.
So you need to always think of social media. You have to get them off. So whether you Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, always think about using social as a way of driving them to the only retail space you own, which is your website and your email list.
Yeah.
So just think all places lead to Rome, which is home, which is your website. So it's where they're going to get all the tools. They're going to get to know you.
Yeah, this is a true story. I actually got an email this week from a woman who is a YouTube content. This is how she makes her living, right, on YouTube. And YouTube shut down her channel without any notice, without anything. And she just basically wrote to everybody and said, I'm really sorry. My stuff is not available right now. I don't know what happened. And she had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos on there. And that's how she made her living. And it's just gone and poof, just like that. And it's a reality. And it scared me when I read the email. I was like, oh my God, that's scary. And also the other thing I want to comment on is about building trust. And this happens with me a lot. Like I'm very open on social media. Obviously, I talk a lot about my journeys and, being a woman and all of that. And the nice thing about that is that people come in for a shoot and they say to me, I feel like I know you. And that's what you really want. You want to build that I feel like I know you. And the way to do that is really communication all the time. And, there's a lot of things that we need to keep in mind. Things like it's not about the amount of people you have. It's the quality of people that you have. So there's plenty of people that have built businesses on an email list of 200 people. And there's people that have built businesses on an email list of 10,000 people and more. Don't focus so much, I think, on the numbers, although numbers are fantastic. It's really about the quality of the people that you're reaching and the connection that you have with them. And again, giving them a reason to open your emails, I think. And
it's got to be relevant. And when you talk about the numbers, in marketing speak, it's called click-through rates. Like if you can have, say, 10,000 people on your email list and only 2% click, that is not as many as if you say you have 1,000 people and you have 200 people open it. That's a 20% open rate, which means people are more engaged. And again, we get so sucked into this whole vanity number problem online. And it's like, I know I have guilty, like, oh, how many people like my photo? And I was like, seriously, girls, like, relax. It's not about just being seen. It's what people are actually interacting with you, are taking notice, are replying. So a lot of your email marketing needs to be like you're talking to a friend.
Yes.
And it's like, hey, you were having a chat with her over coffee. You're going in, you say, oh, you've got to see this photographer. You want her to talk about you to her friends. That's also how you build your businesses. Still, even in the digital age, businesses are built by word of mouth, referrals, and relationships. So, yeah.
1,000%.
Can't emphasize it enough.
No, 1,000%. And this is something I'm trying to drive home to photographers again and again and again. They're worried about Facebook ads and Google. And I'm like, let it go. Build relationships, build trust, and trust me, the business will come. So I'm very into that with you as well. For 2018, I actually myself switched to a whole new system and plan on keeping in touch with everybody a heck of a lot more. So what I did is, most of the products that I create out of my own need because I feel like if I need them, somebody else must need them too. So one of the things that I've done is created these templates. There's 3 templates as of right now in this package, and it's a 1-page and 2 2-pagers. And my idea behind these templates is you can use them in a multiple of different ways. You can use them as prep guides for your clients and people that have already booked you. But what I'm thinking about is really people that haven't booked me yet. And for those of you especially that have Facebook groups with thousands of members in it, how are you going to communicate with those members? How could you make money off of those members, even if they're not booking shoots with you? And so I had this idea to create these templates. And what you can use them for is anything. So let me give you an example. let's say Valentine's Day is coming up, and you want to create a template for, let's say, the 10 hottest lingerie ideas for Valentine's Day. And you can create this template. You can click and choose on the internet what you want to lead people to, things that would look good for a boudoir shoot, things that they can just, wear for Valentine's Day, whatever it might be. And the beauty of this also is that you can create affiliate links through affiliate sites. So you can use the affiliate link to buy when they buy the product. And if they click on it and they buy it, you make money off of it that way. And it's a soft sell, right? You're not like, oh, hey, go, buy this so I make money. Of course, with social media, you have to be upfront about it being an affiliate link, but that's a very, very easy, simple thing to do, number one. Number two, there's a million ways you can use this. It doesn't even have to be for lingerie. It can be a Christmas guide. Here are the top 5 Christmas gifts that my clients are giving to their husbands this year. And you can kind of stick your business in there, right? Like number 5 is a boudoir shoot. So, it's a soft sell kind of a thing. It's a suggestive idea. Hey, maybe you should do a shoot, but it's not a hard sell idea. You can do these for Mother's Day, like top gifts to ask for Mother's Day. It doesn't have to just be boudoir related necessarily. It can be like my top 5 recipes for my Instapot, right? Like this is like this Instapot craze going on right now. So like, I just bought one. It's still sitting in my kitchen in the box. But there's ways to communicate with your clients. Like if you see that they're talking about certain things, or if let's say you appeal to new moms, right? And you shoot a lot of new moms, maybe you want to show them like the top 5 outfits for new moms, that hide a little belly or something like that. You can really create it and customize it to your business. It's something that you can use often. And it's a way not only to communicate with your clients, past, present, and future, but also a way to potentially make a little bit of extra money. And so what you would do is you would use something like this as an opt-in. So you would opt-in is basically the term you would use when somebody comes to your website and they give you their email information. So you don't want to just post this in your Facebook group. Essentially what you want to do is say to the women, hey guys, I have this amazing guide for you for Valentine's Day. If you want a copy of it, click here, right? And so Mimika, I'm going to let you take over from there and talk about the opt-in and the importance of it and kind of a little bit of the background of that.
Yes, so basically with opt-ins, or some people call them freemiums or ethical bribes, it's basically a way of giving something useful that your potential client wants. So they opt in and give you their email address, because once they've said yes, raised their hand and signed up, because you can't just go spam people. This is one thing they're like, oh, I have a client, I'm just going to put them in my email funnel. No, that's not allowed. You have to have people's explicit permission. So the good thing about this is if you are offering them something they want, you already have them halfway there. They already are interested, as opposed to you like, hey, anybody want this? Anybody want? Okay, nobody. It's easier then to get them through the door. Now, with your opt-in, the idea is you want to keep it simple. And that's what Jen has done for you. She's made it simple. You literally don't have to create anything. She's created them for you. You literally just have to like copy and paste. So you just need to get the process started. And then what you will do is keep that relationship going by constantly emailing. When I say constantly, you can decide, but usually a good rule of thumb is to at least 3 or 4 touch points before somebody, either is interested or unsubscribes. And basically what that is through time, you literally are filtering your most sort of what I would call your hot list, like the list of people that are actually interested in what you have to offer. Because as we mentioned earlier, sometimes it's about timing, sometimes it's about budget, sometimes they might not be interested in a photo shoot right then and there when you have an event going on or a promotion. But by giving them something that's useful for them, here's the other. In psychology terms, it's called the term of reciprocity. If you give them something, they're going to feel indebted to you, and they're going to be like, well, she gave me something useful, so let me at least hear her out, right? So when she sees your email in her inbox, she's not going to just want to delete it. She's going to go, oh, well, let me see what, Jen has to say. This is cool, and this is exciting. I look what she gave me. She gave me something useful, and I'm going to tell my friend. So again, it's just like, relationships, but in terms of online, excuse me, and just keeping that relationship going.
I'm going to pause you for 1 second because I'm so glad that you brought that up. So many people give me, I'm going to say shit. So many people give me shit because, you know, they say, oh, you give out so much for free. You do so much for free. And it's important to do those things because you're building trust. And then what happens is when you have something to sell, people are like, take my money. I want it. Take my money. You've helped me. And yes, I want to help you too. And it's very psychological. Everything that we do is psychology in photography, and, you know, the psychology of business, the psychology of the therapy side of it, the psychology of relationships. And I think so many people don't grasp that. So I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Definitely. I mean, and that's pretty much what marketing is. It doesn't have to be sleazy. It doesn't have to be slimy. It just is about, hey, I have something of interest. Does it interest you? Or they've raised their hand and said, I'm interested in this. So you just continue to serve them. And I think if we keep that attitude of, we're not here to sell you and get you in and get you out the door, especially with photography, it's definitely is relationship building and getting them to trust you and then moving it along, because it is so much cheaper to as we mentioned, is to, you know, to convince somebody who really likes you to buy from you. And I know with you as well, what I love about what you've been doing and sharing and being vulnerable is it shows a little bit of skin. It really does helps people to feel like she understands me. Hey, I've been there in that situation. She's like, she gets me. And I know from, especially with boudoir photography, it's a really personal thing. You really are in that client space.
Yeah,
so trust is even so much more important. You realize that there's a need. So your client says, for instance, like what to wear for a photo shoot. That's always like, even if you look on Pinterest, that's like one of the most things in photography. If you see the things being repinned, is what do I wear, or how do I prepare? Or
you reminded me of what I was going to say. Yeah. Well, two things I want to say. The first is that I do also sell a lingerie guide that photographers have been using for years, and they've been sending it over to their clients, and that won't change. But sometimes you have a client that you want to specifically say, this is what you should wear for your shoot. Instead of using like a Pinterest mood board, because again, it's putting them on social media, right? You can create this, you can take a one-page template and go, here's the top 10 things I think you should wear. Again, using the affiliate link. So you make money off of what they're purchasing in addition to the photography shoot. So you can use this specifically per client. It's quick and easy way to go, okay, I've created this custom sheet for you. And it actually adds value. So when you sell a shoot, you can say, with the session fee includes this custom made guide that I'm going to send you for you specifically. It's adding value. And so one of the things that I was going to say before is that I'm trying to remember the exact thought, because again, it's skipping my mind, but it's creating things of value and authenticity. And so authenticity is like a super important thing for me. There's a lot of photographers out there that come out with like 1 million products a year that they kind of half-ass and go, okay, you know, this is good enough, or people need it. For me, I'm really, really stringent on creating product that I'm going to use in my business and that I believe will add benefit to photographers, so that this way, when they actually, you know, when I do put it out, like I'm doing this now, I'm basically saying to them, trust me, this is going to help you. This is going to make you money. And they do trust me because I've done it before. And that's exactly the point of the relationship building right there, is that you're building the trust, you're helping people, and you really feel good about it. So you don't feel bad taking people's money, because honestly, so many people feel guilty about that, you know, and they have things about money, and the thing, this is a recording for like a thing that we're doing. I told you not to bother me. Sorry, we're going to either leave it. We can leave that in, because that's
life, right? That's what life is. I work from home. I have my studio, my setup right there, and guaranteed the kids or the dogs, someone is going to need something.
It's my husband, my third kid. I was like, baby, you go to work today, you come home, I'm going to be recording something to Mimika, do not bother me.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the other thing, talking about it, like by providing your clients with templates that helps them prepare. First of all, I know by just saying, go and buy something that matches. Most people don't know what that is. Most people don't know how to style themselves. And I know time and time again, when I've done shoots, especially when I do for other business owners for their websites, I color coordinate it and say, go and buy this shirt from here, these shoes from here. And they love it. They're like, oh, thank you so much. You saved me a ton of time. I can go click, 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 buy the product. Yeah. And you have control of the shoot because you now have styled them.
Yes.
They are going to arrive with everything you've told them to arrive. Because how many times have you had the photo shoot? I remember my early days.
Way too many.
By text or phone. I don't know what to wear. Like, oh, I didn't know I had to bring makeup. Oh, I didn't know I should have washed my face. Right. Like, seriously. Really? Like, really. So you want to avoid any issues, because who wants to spend hours in Photoshop fixing something that could have been prepared and prevented?
also creates trust, and it really sets you up as the expert. And so that they trust you even more, and they go to you for guidance even more. And then they say to their friends, listen, not only, like, her friend might say, I love your family shoot. And she'll go, oh my God, I could never put this together myself. My photographer sent me this whole custom thing and blah, blah, blah. And it becomes part of your value and part of your trust factor. So that's the beauty of the templates, is that they're not, obviously I'm a boudoir photographer, so I'm coming from a boudoir point of view, but they can be used for anything, for babies, for families, for anything. It's really, I think, a great tool to help your clients create trust, using them to make a little bit more money if you want to, getting people.
But here's the other thing as well, like from a psychology perspective, once you've invested more value in your client and you've shown them more, the chances are, and I've tested this in my own studio, they will actually spend more. The more they trust you, the more they'll spend. Because, when you're going to go to like a fancy restaurant, they're going to give you everything from, the napkins, the silverware, everything is thought of. And there's a higher price tag to that, and you expect that. And again, it comes down to you get what you pay for. So if you've already invested what I would call silent value, in other words, you've provided them already with stuff, with content, with helpful information, that is already money in their mental bank, that when they come to pay you, they're not going to have to sticker shock and freak out, because they know you've done your work, you've helped them, you've upped the level in your photography, you've given them the trust factor that you are the professional. So you do eventually get it back.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about these opt-ins, because I think that a lot of photographers are going to go, okay, great, but how do I get their email addresses? Like, where do I do that? So I know we're not going to go through the whole process of exactly how, but are there any systems you recommend, anything you recommend them looking into a little bit, and any guidance you can give in that direction?
Yeah, so first of all, it doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to cost you anything to start. This is it. Most people think, oh, it's going to cost a fortune, and I've tried all the different versions out there. There's 3 free email list building places. Like MailChimp is great. The first 2,000 subscribers are free, so you can start building your email list and start tweaking and trying things. It integrates with a lot of other different apps. So like if you wanted to sell things online, it works that way. MadMimi is another one. Constant Contact, if you want to get a little bit more advanced, where you can start what they call tagging customers. So if this customer has shown an interest in this item, it tags them and then puts them in another group. So when you say you're doing a Valentine's promotion, that they're already interested, you would put them in a different group. Those ones would be more paid, and usually they start around about $49 a month. And that would be something like ConvertKit or Active Campaign. And then when you really are ready and you really want to go fancy, then you can go for more like things like ClickFunnels or Infusionsoft. But what I would say is, when you're starting with this, just at least start something. Like put something on your website, and I always advise that it's on your homepage, that the first thing that they see. Because people, it's shown that in marketing circles, if the more times they click, the more disinterested they'll start to move on. Where if you can capture them and have them do one thing, which is, hey, here's this opt-in or here's this free download, just give me your name and email address, and then they fill in a little box. And things like MailChimp is great. You literally can make them on MailChimp, and then you can just copy the code into your website. Yeah. And all these sort of technical stuff we'll go through, like with the course that I have, it will really help you go through it step by step. You don't have to be super tech savvy. It just is a matter of taking a little time to set it up. And once it's in, it's one of those set it and forget it things. You literally then get it going. I mean, do you remember the story when you and I first, it was a couple of years ago when we were talking about this. Tell them about that story with your emails.
I don't remember the exact, oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot. I don't remember.
Well, I'll remind you, because when you started speaking on Creative Live, and I was like, man, you're doing a really good job. You're out there, but like, how many people are on your email list? And you're like, what? Email list?
Email list,
right? What are your email list for? I'm like,
I blocked it out of my memory.
You're like, you're getting so much traffic to your website. You're pushing people to your website, but you're not capturing them. They literally come and click and say, oh, great website. But then they go away. And then what we did is we set up a very simple one-page, also opt-in. And I think at the time you had less than 200 people on your list. Yeah. Now, a couple of years later, that's in the tens of thousands, right? Yeah. And that is basically how you get to build your business. Like now with your health issues, that is what you get to rely on, that even when you can't pick up a camera, because this is the other thing we need to realize, and I've experienced this myself when I had health issues. If I wasn't constantly driving my business and didn't have photo shoots booked, when I physically couldn't pick up the camera and I was ill, what happened to my business? It just fell down. So, but how I was able to continue those relationships is through email, even if it meant it had nothing to do with photography. It was just keeping in contact. I would send out a monthly newsletter, like what's interesting, what's happening.
Right.
These are the things you can start to build up. But as a first step, I would say go and sign up for one of the free packages and start looking around. It really is simple once you start. And then the good thing is with Jen's templates, you don't have to think about what to create. She's going to give you that opt-in. So she really has tested it. And this is the thing which is great. Sometimes finding what actually clicks and what people want from you is the hardest part. Yeah. Then all you need to focus on is just sending people and sending traffic that way. So Jen's already done most of the hard work for you. You just need to go in, set it up, and set it and forget it, and then just keep directing people there, and it'll work for you.
And that's the great thing. So Mimika's not only talking about taking people from Facebook and bringing them to your opt-in list, but also putting it on your website. So when people go to your website, it'll automatically pop up and say, hey, do you want to know my top 5 things that people, use for a photo shoot? Click here. And then you're essentially capturing their email. They're getting a free gift. You're starting to build a relationship right there. And there's a million other things that we can talk about, and maybe we will at some point, like drip campaigns and all of those other things. It's a lot. So let's start with this. Maybe we'll do that after. There was something else that I was going to say, taking people from Facebook, taking them from your website.
Well, even like people, the whole rage now is Facebook ads, right? And Facebook ads can be really good, but can also be really expensive if you don't know what you're doing. But at the end of the day, the biggest mistake I see people doing, whether in photography or any industries, they have a Facebook ad, they've spent the money, you've got people's attention, and then the link that they click people to just takes them to like a random, oh, here's the website. I'm like, what? I don't know what this is about.
Right. Well, you need to offer something. You need to
offer them something. You can't just send them off to the Wild West and expect them to figure out where the gold is, right? You've got to be very particular. So this is why these opt-ins and the freemiums are great. It's a specific need for a specific client, and you can offer them at a specific time. So then when they've shown you their interest, it really will reduce your marketing spend, and you won't have to spend so much money on converting that client to become a paying customer. So
a lot of people are afraid of losing. Like they send out an email and they're like, oh, I lost 3 subscribers this week. Great. You should want to lose those subscribers because they're not your people. This is really like a vibe attracts your tribe. And I don't ever worry about how many people I'm losing, because the thing is they're making room for people that want my information. And I'm totally with that, especially if you're on a site like Mad Mimi or something that they charge you per subscriber.
Yes.
At some point, you want to be able to get rid of that junk. The other thing is that I wanted to mention, just a little tip, is in my Facebook groups now, you can ask questions so before people join. And one of the questions I ask is, would you like to be on our email list? And I gather email addresses that way as well. So that's really helpful now that they do that. So you can start gaining those email addresses. But again, those are the people that will probably give you the email address and maybe keep with you and maybe not. When you offer the opt-in, you're really filtering through. You're really getting the people that want the information. So it's a really great thing to do. So I appreciate all of the advice that you have given.
Yes, no problem. As I said, as you get me talking about marketing and all those things, and I just get excited because I'm like, oh, I'm going to try this. Oh, what about this? But the basic thing is, what's great is both, Jen and I are photographers. We've run businesses, and we've known through experience that this is hands down one of the most effective methods of keeping your business going. And I've been able to use this cross industries. Like I've also worked with people who are not photographers and helping them with their marketing and setting it up, because I really feel, especially now with all the things we mentioned about Facebook and YouTube, like I've been putting a lot of effort into a YouTube channel, but if I can't get them off there into my email list, it's a problem. So I can't emphasize it enough, but we have a lot of content we can go over. As Jen mentioned, the templates are great to get you started. And I'm also offering some tools on my end of some mini courses I've put together. It'll make it very easy for you to go through, especially from a photographer's perspective, how to set it up, what do you need to do. It doesn't have to be uber complicated. It just needs to you need to spend a little time to set it up, and then you can just let it work for your business instead of you running around working in your business. Yeah.
So essentially, when you buy the templates, you will automatically be on my email list, and I will email you a link to Mimika's courses, and we'll do something special there so that you can, sign up for her courses on how to set it up if you don't already know how to set it up. And this way, we got you covered on both ends. We make the opt-in super easy because, by the way, content creation is a disaster. Right? It's so difficult sometimes. So I'm making it really easy for you on that end, and then Mimika will make it really easy for you to set it up if you don't already know how to do it. So I will, wherever you're seeing this, because we'll post it in a few different places, I will post links, and you'll be able to connect with us that way. So how's that sound?
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for having me and opening the discussion. I can't wait to see how things grow. And I'm sure we'll be getting comments from your photographer friends again when they say, hey, I did this and it worked. Yay, we love testimonials.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you have tried it and you love it, and hit us up, let us know, because really, obviously we're trying to run our businesses, but the truth is we're really trying to make everybody else's business amazing and give back to the community, and make it easy for you guys to make money too. So thank you, Mimika. Have an awesome day.
Thanks, you too.